that time.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4. Here we go, Roger.
And on INSiiGHTS, 2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS, where we always talk the talk.
The legendary reporter, your favorite reporter, Rick Brown. I use that term legendary a little loosely today since we had the legend, Dr. Fred Gainous, come on, and that's legend in 86 font. So you make sure that covers up the whole page. You still in a 5 font, so we still got to work on it. But Rick Brown, the reporter, welcome to us.
Well, thank you for having me for another week, Coach, the greatest coach that I've ever known. What's happening, bro?
Oh, man, I'm just excited. But, you know, one thing I like about doing this, we were kind of talking off air, is we have so many topics that we cover, but we try to stay in what we think our niche is with the high school sports. That's kind of how we started. And doing some of the previews that we have, because we all, for the upcoming basketball season, these student athletes and the kids and their parents, the team, they cannot receive enough attention for what they're doing. You know, we always want to do something to criticize when something goes wrong with the gun violence and things. And so we try to make sure that we use sports as a way to motivate, educate these students. And I think that everybody should support them. So that's one of the things that we want to do.
It's for the kids. That motto for the kid. Is no better motto. Because it's true, and INSiiGHTS has stayed true to that motto. Yeah, we touch on other things that are important. We deem that are very important, but you always return to your roots, and I think that's commendable, especially since high schoolers, as you mentioned, do not get the recognition that they deserve.
Well, you know, even in some of the leadership academy things we do with the Jimmy Sars Leadership Academy, Sheriff McNeil told me that when we were working with some of the high schools and providing leadership things for them, he said, Coach, I appreciate what you're doing, but you really need to start this with the middle school kids. And he said, in some cases, all the way down to the elementary school. So if you can do something to work with these student athletes in our neighborhood, or these students in our neighborhoods, younger and younger, we might have a chance to save something. You know, one of the things I wanted to mention, I'm torn between going to your fight between Fury and Wilder, which some are calling one of the best fights. You know, we showed it in Studio 13, and there were some parts in that. At the end of the day, Deontay Wilder wanted to go out on his shield, and that's how he went out.
Yes, he did. He did.
He wanted to go out on his shield, but Fury didn't back up off of him. Now Fury brings the smoke. Now the hardest thing. Go ahead.
No, just quickly on that fight, and I've heard lots of people talk about how great that fight was, but I come from an era where it's called the sweet science. And to me, that was just like a street fight in D.C. And I could see that any day. Now, don't get me wrong. I love seeing the heavy boys go for it. and they went for it. I mean, they were throwing. They were just throwing. And they were trying to take people out. And I respect it. I respect anyone who gets in that ring. Went into the ring once. Last time going. I respect him, but to call that fight one of the best heavyweight fights.
Well, what they liked, why they called it one of the best, was how Tyson was drilling him, and we thought Deontay was done in the 3rd round. There was no way it was going to go past the 4th, and he came out and threw a couple haymakers and knocked Fury down. And I mean, so that's part of what it was. But did you hear Fury say that he figured he's the baddest man in the planet because he's won, or he's been in bar fights all over the world and nobody's beat him?
I always think you have to have a few screws loose to box.
Yeah.
I think Fury just proved that theory correctly. Oh my gosh, that dude is a
Now,
nut.
now, changing gears on a story that keeps developing, John Gruden. See, my own thing is, and Dr. Gainous is, he was down in St. Pete. He's kind of down in the area. I'm gonna allow him to say something if he likes to. He might not want to touch that, but he was down there and took over a ready-made team by Tony Dungy, a black coach, won the Super Bowl, and then traded away all of the guys on the team to prove how good a coach he was. So I always kind of had a problem with that process. And Keyshawn Johnson just went off. I always told y'all he was a terrible person. But see, it's even more than that. What does that say about a person if you feel comfortable enough about them to say the things that he said in the email to the people he sent it to? What does that say about them? That Gruden felt comfortable enough that I can say these things and know that it's safe to say. That's the part right there.
Coach, and I have a kind of a different take on this.
You would.
I struggled with this. And,
Mhm.
and why I struggle with this is because we're in a society, a cancel culture society, where anything you say and do can and will get you fired. Why I struggle with this? Did he deserve to get to be gone? Yes. I mean, I think what he demonstrated it shows his character. Whereas, I've said some off-colored things in the past. I've said some things to friends or uh, close acquaintances that if got out, if I was a man of power and got out, that people may look at me a little differently. But do I believe that's my character? No, I don't believe that's who I am. So I struggle with everyone. If you make a mistake, it defines you. I mean, when can a person grow? Can a person grow? Can a
Wait a minute. A
person?
mistake. They got a whole. It's not like it was one email, Rick.
And like I said, he deserved it because this showed his character. I'm talking about in general now, and why I struggle with it, because people take mistakes that people make or say years ago, and they don't. Like that person doesn't understand that it was a mistake, and they can't grow from the mistake.
I don't
And
agree. I think people do get second chances. And I think that what you're doing, them two different scenarios, and making a mistake 5 years ago and making a whole series of them.
agree.
Even more than that, somebody said they got 25,000 emails they found. How is this the only email that got leaked when they're doing an investigation on the Washington football team? How could that be the only one? But we can go on and on about that because I know this story is far from being over. And I don't want to infringe on my special guest and having him come on board with us. We have Dr. Fred Gainous, currently the executive director of the Brookside Agricultural and Environment Research Center. If that ain't a long title, I wouldn't even want to have all that on a business card. You have to get a supersized business card with that. He was a former president at Florida A&M University, former chancellor of the Alabama College System Department of Post-Secondary Education, another long title, and he was a former vice president at St. Petersburg College. He's a FAMU graduate, got his master's and PhD at University of Florida. He's from Tallahassee, Florida. Grew up on the campus of Florida A&M University. I welcome to everybody, without needing any other introduction, Dr. Fred Gainous.
Thank you, Mr. Clayton, Mr. Brown. Good to see you all. Good to be on with you. Uh, and that's a pretty interesting subject you all were talking about. Uh, you know, the legacy of this nation is embroiled in that topic, those discussions, those decisions. I think our future, as shown through the pandemic, may be through volunteerism, volunteering to help those who are less fortunate, those who are struggling, and therefore understanding and appreciating what they have been through. And obviously, uh, Coach Gruden did not have a full appreciation for the struggles of life.
Wow. See that? And he comes in just he comes in throwing jabs, doesn't he?
And then drops the mic. I love it. I love it.
Impart knowledge and wisdom. That's what Dr. Gainous says. Is somebody told me one thing about Dr. Gainous is that he had the ability to see the end at the beginning.
Mm.
Do you know how deep that is for somebody to say that or be able to see things like that? When you talk to Dr. Gainous, he already know where you're going before you get it out.
I really wish that were fully true, but I have hopes and dreams. You can't look at a child and not have hopes and dreams for them. You can't look at life's lessons, life's struggles, and not really appreciate that there are people who fight that struggle every day. I go by the grocery store most days. My daughters would tell you I go by every day. Beverly, I would tell you I go by every day. But it reminds me of those people who have to go every day in order to find something that they can feed their families. Every day they have to go and look and search and hope that they can find something to feed their family. You know what that takes? It takes courage. It takes character. It takes commitment. And it takes an element of no fear. I must do this. I have to do this. And if I may segue, that's why I appreciate the students on Florida A&M University's campus so much. Man, those guys get up every day, regardless of their past, regardless of their struggles, regardless of what it is that they must do today to overcome. A lot of those kids just accustomed to struggle, and yet, and still, Florida A&M University has some of the best and brightest students in the world. Why else do they compete favorably against the Ivy League institutions? That is because those students, those folk have the ability to wade through the difficulties of life. You go by an elementary school and you look at who's bringing many of those kids to school. It's their older siblings. You look at who's walking them home from school. It's their older siblings. Those guys have been through a lot by the time they reach FAMU. And it's absolutely horrible that you could look at their zip code and kind of predict success. You think you can. I had a student in my class once who missed an exam, and she came to class late the next time she came, and I asked her to call her grandmother. And her grandmother was there to ask if she could take the exam. the grandmother acknowledged she should get an F, but I'm going to ask you to spare her. I found out that the grandmother was a cook at the church. She had dreams and hopes for that grandchild, that she would send the granddaughter what she could. You know, that young lady was 17 years old, and she was in college on a scholarship because she lived in a certain housing development in Orlando. And because the owner of that hotel saw a future if you lived in Tangelo or Tango Park, that they would help you. And I took her aside and said, why were you not in class? Well, there are a lot of reasons why she was not. I saw her a short time later, and this is what she said to me, and this is significant because it represents a life change. She says, I got rid of that boyfriend, and I'm doing well in my classes. She had a full ride, not through her baccalaureate degree, but through any other degree that she wanted to pursue. And that's what it's going to take for us to really, really help these young people get an education. And thank God there's a Florida A&M University.
Dr. Gainous, you came from the same kind of background. Did you kind of grow up on the campus, riding through campus as a little child?
As Mr. Brown calls you, coach, that's because I was playing hooky from school. I'm sorry. But yes, I did. If it happened on Florida A&M's campus from the time I was in the 9th grade until the time I graduated from Florida A&M University, I was one step away from being there. I don't care what it is, I was there. And Florida A&M University has that kind of dynamic presence in the life of students. Florida A&M University has changed the zip codes of people who didn't even know they had a zip code, so that they would have an opportunity and a better life.
Wow. Dr. Gainous, you're getting a lot of support already. I have to tell you some of the comments that we're getting. They like the quote, when the ability to see the end of the beginning. They said that was very powerful. Preach it, Dr. Gainous, from Anthony Miller, a judge here in town. Carmel Diva. And you'll know who this is when I read it. Yes, you do go to the grocery store almost every day, Daddy. And it rubs off on me.
I can't explain it, but you get a chance to see the reality of people's lives. And you get a chance also to be impressed every day. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that, and I need it. Those two young ladies are just some of the brightest that I've met, and they're good kids. And Florida A&M University deserves to be able to educate parents of kids who are bound to struggle one way or another, so that they are better prepared to assist their children.
Well, Dr. Gainous, share with me some insight in terms of all this going on. You've been an educator, an administrator, a parent. What words would you give to some of these who are watching, some of these high school students, middle school students, and their parents who are so interested in trying to follow an athletic trail, would you tell them that they cannot forego the academic component? Just the more we can tell them this, perhaps that one voice will make a difference.
Yes. And every time they think about it, they ought to be reminded about the downfall of some athlete and his wealth, her wealth. An education won't make it foolproof for you, but it will give you the tools to navigate, to negotiate the hazards of life. It will give you the ability to seek hope in reasonable places, not unreasonable. So you gotta seek to tell your children, tell your child, yes, you can play sports, but first and foremost, you will get an education. And the education will last you for the rest of your life. I suspect, Coach Clayton, you heard these things growing up. What you got in your head, nobody can take it away. What you got to do is learn how to do these things for yourself. What you got to do is to accomplish, to achieve, to aspire, to hope, to dream, and to recognize reality when you see it. Somebody has to tell these young kids that. I was on campus one day, and the student was late for class, and chronically late for class, and had received a failing grade for it. And I told that student, you must get to class on time. Why are you late every day? This student said to me, well, whenever I find a parking space, it's either so far away or it takes me so long until I'm late. And I saw right away the issue. You've gotten a privilege extended to you by your family. And you're allowing that privilege of having a car to block what your real goal is. Get to class, get your education. You know what she told me? She said, Dr. Gainous, but I have a car. I said, catch the bus, walk, get to class. But I have a car. So we talked. We talked and we talked. And when she left me, I am only hopeful that she put that car aside and recognized that that was not why she was there. I have worked with so many students at FAMU. One young lady, and I must tell you this one, this is the last one, but she was having a real difficult time in school, in a particular class. Oh, she was angry. She was in an awful way. And she says, ooh, this man and I are not getting along. Oh, he doesn't know that I don't like that. So I finally said to her, young lady, I can both see you and hear you. You are not a cartoon. And I think we need to stop some of them in their tracks and let them know, I see your tears. I see your pain. I see your hurt, but I also see your potential. And from that day on, every time she saw me, she hugged me. From that day on, she gave me a report as to how she was doing. A successful graduate of Florida A&M University, she is. And this role, everybody has to play. We don't have a choice of opting out. Mr. Clayton, you remember when you were at FAMU? Every student had a home. When Christmas time came and they were from New York, Chicago, the islands, everybody had a home. Everybody had a meal. Everybody had somebody who loved them. Everybody had someone who was willing to go the extra mile for them. Volunteer parent, volunteer cousin, volunteer sister, volunteer brother. Somebody has to do it. And when it comes to Florida A&M University, I won't say the world is showing us who they are. I think we need to show the world who we are. We are people of humility, humanity, and dignity.
Dr. Gainous, you have worked at different levels in the educational system, and you've said some of it already, but what is it that you really found special about the students in your hometown?
Say that once more. You were breaking up.
What did you really find special with the FAMU students as opposed to all of the other places that you've been?
Hearing enough of it to sense it together. Say it once more, please.
What made the FAMU students special from all the other places you've been in post-secondary education?
Is your question what made Florida A&M University different?
Yeah, the students at FAMU, yes, sir.
Oh, man. I'm not sure I could handle that one without crying. And let me tell you why. Because they've come from so many different walks of life. They carry so many burdens. They have a load and responsibility for the family, their younger siblings. They come to FAMU and they do a lot of things to support the family back home. And it is just amazing to see what they will do, what they are willing to do, and yet how available they are to learn. If I could answer that question fully today, this would be maybe 1 or 2 days that I'll have to ever work during my lifetime, because I'd surely be a fortune teller. But I'll tell you, there's not another place like Florida A&M. Not another. It stands in the gap. It's that soldier in the foxhole with you. It's that ambition builder for a student. It's the light that will shine through defeat. Focus on victory and allow you to yet come through the other side and know how to love.
I see you, Rick.
Wow.
I see you. Dr. Gainous leaves you kind of speechless. And one of the things I know, and Dr. Gainous, I never know how an interview is going to go. And one thing I learned about talking to our presidents is that I don't interview them. They take the conversation where they take it. And there's always some knowledge there that we have no idea how you feel about it until you share it with us. Now, what we told people was that they were going to see a humble, caring, and laid back Dr. Gainous. I don't even know when the last time I just saw him in a collared shirt. I was like, every time I saw him, he's always suit and tie. And we traveled the road. I mean, we traveled, man, where was that? Houston or Dallas, when the plane skidded off the runway and all of that. And then we went to, it was Dallas, because then we went to the morning news for a meeting, and they couldn't even get there but we were there. The FAMU contingent was there. And we had, I think it was a 7:30 or 8 o'clock meeting. And you said, we're not going anywhere. We're going to sit here till 9. And we waited. And you said they may have trouble to get here, but the FAMU contingency led by Dr. Fred Gainous was in the house. You remember that? I know you remember that, Doc. When that plane skidded off that runway in that ice, we were like, oh, Jesus. Everybody prayed a little bit.
But Clay, I
Yes, sir.
can't hear you. You're breaking up. But about that Dallas trip, we went. Yes, the plane did slide off the runway. The city was locked down. It was closed. But we were there because we represented Florida A&M University and students. They gave us scholarship money. They put things in the Dallas Morning News so that it would attract. That's why we went there. And I never gave a thought that it was closed down, that it was frozen over. We needed to go to represent FAMU.
And that's the type of president we had in the character of Dr. Gainous. Once he started on something, hey, we were just soldiers with him. We followed our leader.
Mm-hmm. A strong leader at that, I can tell. Dr. Gainous, I read that you mentioned that FAMU was your dream job. I know you were born in Tally, but you've had opportunities to do numerous other things. Why was Florida A&M your dream job, being the president of Florida A&M?
Dr. Gainous, I think Rick and I hear each other pretty good, but we're having trouble getting it with you down there in Brooksville, Doc, so I don't know. Doc, we're gonna have to have you back because we're just getting all type of thank yous from Dr. Gainous for capturing the resiliency and character of FAMU students and the FAMU experience. Hashtag FAMU strong. What you got in your head, no one can take it away from you. Sound wisdom from Dr. Fred Gainous. Great interview, Dr. G. All those are comments that we have already. And hopefully when you and the missus play it back, that you'll be able to hear it a lot better than what you're able to hear it through the internet right now. But Dr. Gainous, we appreciate you being with us.
May I say one more thing?
You could say anything you want to say, Doc.
I am impressed with Dr. Robinson and his team. I'm impressed with the board of trustees and their commitment to Florida A&M University. FAMU is indeed deserving of being the #1 HBCU in America and the #1 university in the world.
Hey, that's a great one to close on right there, Dr. Gainous. Please, thank you. You're welcome at INSiiGHTS at any time. And there's a lot of knowledge that you imparted on here that we hope that these students and the FAMU people and people who watch the show get a chance to hear it all. Thank you, Doc. We love you, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. If that wasn't special right there.
Wow.
It leaves you kind of speechless, doesn't it?
You know, usually it's coaches who get me fired up to do something. I mean, but he got me fired up. I mean, and it's like I need to do more because he was spitting that fire. I mean, straight fire, straight knowledge. And that, wow. Yeah, we need to have him back.
Yeah, we got to work on having a better internet connection because he's Dr. Gainous is special. I knew he would be. That's why I was so elated when he agreed to be on. And I knew it would be something special with him.
Wow.
I knew it would be something special. I was not disappointed at all.
No.
You know, that's kind of the man he is, and we traveled on the road with him, so we kind of know how that went. You know, so we're gonna get back on schedule. Dr. Gainous gets precedent on all of that, and we wanted to make sure that we respected his time and his ability to be with us. But speaking of the fight, we had a special by the report. If y'all are remembering the legends of our FAMU people.
Hello, Insights. So Saturday night, I was checking out the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury World Heavyweight Championship, and I was excited because there's few sports that gets me actually excited about than a big heavyweight championship fight. I mean, I grew up in the era of Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes, who always used to put on shows. Mike Tyson, you know what he used to do in the ring. It was incredible. And it just made me think about the heavyweights of the past, the Joe Lewises, and just what they had to overcome. But do you know who was the first Black American heavyweight champion of the world, boxing? Any guesses? I'm going to give you a couple more seconds to guess. Any guesses? John Arthur Johnson, on December 26, 1908, defeated Tommy Burns to become the first Black American heavyweight champion of the world. Now, when we talk about Jack Johnson, yes, that's the Jack Johnson who became the first Black heavyweight champion of the world. Now, his victories didn't come without, any controversy, especially during that era. When Jack Johnson defeated former world champion James Jeffries, it sparked, Jeffries came out of retirement he was a great white hope, and he was going to set this black man straight. But after Johnson's victory, it set off race riots across the country. At least 20 people are believed to have died because of those race riots. And Johnson was flamboyant in what he did. Not only did he, win a coveted prize, this heavyweight championship, but he also irked the nerves of those in power because he had a love of the fairer skin, shall we say. He was arrested more than once for his interactions and marriages with white women. So much so that after one arrest and conviction, that he left the country for years before coming back to serve his prison term, which was about a year. President Donald Trump, finally got rid of that sentence in 2018. Yes, Jack Johnson, the first Black American heavyweight champion of the world. And Hall of Famer.
Thank you very much for that, young man. We appreciate it. We would have led right into that after our dialogue about the fight this weekend. But
Precedence.
Oh man, Dr. Gainous takes precedent. And we're still getting comments. Bonita, we hear you saying loved it. Caramel Diva, great job. Hey, y'all make sure you like us, subscribe to us, thumbs up. It means a lot to us. Let us know what you like so that we can continue to provide the type of knowledge that we think you will enjoy. And another thing that we always do is our high school highlights.
Coach, INSiiGHTS family, before we begin this week, I am in somewhat of a somber mood because of the gun violence and weapons being brought into some schools in Tallahassee. As a community, we are better than this. We must be better than this. Parents, let's take every precaution with regards to weapons. And students, let's not glorify violence in our community. Parents, talk to your kids often. And let's provide the necessary mental health assistance that your kids are looking for. Well, now I have a job to do. I will be the first to say that I made a mistake last week, ladies and gentlemen. Rickards versus Godby should have been the game of the week. It was a great game and was not decided until the final 50 seconds. Congratulations to both teams as they gave their fans their money's worth as Rickards prevailed 21-16. The actual game of the week turned out to be the dud of the week as Madison dominated Swanee and turned the Bulldogs into puppies 27-0. That was the first of 4 shutouts as Wakulla gave Jefferson a taste of their own medicine, choking the life out of them 45-0. And JP2 showed no grace to Graceville, blessing them with a 56-0 beatdown. And Lincoln got everybody home by 8:30, getting in on the action with a 42-0 shellacking of Leon. Bluntstown was not to be outdone as they tried to break the scoreboard against NFC 72-33. Rocky Bayou spoiled Arcilla's homecoming, beating them 41-27. Pace bested Monroe 44-29. Pensacola Catholic defeated Gadsden County 23-18. And McClay and Weehawken battled to the end with the Marauders victorious 31-30. So that sets up this week, ladies and gentlemen. Gadsden will have a tall task at Niceville. Arcilla will take on Harvest Christian. NFC hosts South Walton. Jefferson will look to rebound at Sneads. Wakulla welcomes West Florida. Now on the college front, Florida State will win their 3rd game in a row by beating the absolute hell out of Bye. And my FAMU Rattlers will probably get a call from Peter because they abused the South Carolina State Bulldogs 30-7. Let's stay safe, get vaccinated. See you next week.
He's got to calm down. He's got to calm down. He's got to calm down. Wait, Coach. Wait. Florida State is going to beat the hell out of that bye week. Stop.
Say stop it.
Stop.
Oh
man. Lovely. Good
job.
Good job, Earl.
Hey, he wants to know how can you not mention Childs High School? They won. I think Childs won 2-0 in the forfeit game over FAMU DRS in a game that was canceled.
No, don't say the word. Don't say the word.
Not due to COVID.
Not due to COVID.
Not due to COVID.
Oh.
See? Not due to COVID.
Oh. You know, on the serious tip, though, I think he started off right. And come on, folks. Guns, violence, at the games, these are things we enjoy.
No, I'm fussing right with, our guy at North Carolina Central. They had a game earlier this year. At the game, 2 kids got killed outside in the parking lot. North Carolina Central located in the middle of gang territory. He said game going on, gunshots going off, afternoon game in the daylight. He said he didn't leave till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get stuff straight. Gun violence. Again, we got a full show and staying
Just keep going.
on our high school theme. We have the Godby boys basketball team. This is why I'm gonna talk about one. This is why it looks like we are destined to be able to do some basketball games here.
Platform Tech. I am there
during
honestly to get my degree. I saw Mark when he came to my high school playing basketball. He's pretty good on the court, but that wasn't quite the only thing that caught my attention because he is quite a looker. He's a cutie. Tight pair of blue jeans and a halter top. It's over. She's got him on lock. Whatever girl it is, has gotten his attention. As for Gloria keeps drama. That's just what she is. That's just
Stop
who
it,
she
Rick.
is.
Stop it.
Guys love her because she has them like
Stop it, Rick.
puppet. She can make them move however she wants them to move.
Y'all better get your copy.
So, surviving with my heart in one piece is a priority.
Naya Lee, formerly
Gloria
of
is my
Ricketts High
name,
School.
being all that is my game.
There she
I
is.
come from Southland Tech. As a
Gloria,
student who's
here
seen
goes
life,
Camille Smith.
I'm going to
from
graduate
Hampton.
with my degree and from life. I don't back down, and I don't play.
That character is the one
Everybody
everybody
ain't
talks
18
about
in
in the
life.
book.
If you can't handle it, don't play with it. Most
Well,
of these boys are boys. They think they're men, but they don't even know.
Boy.
That's why they're freshmen. Just fresh, not men. Why y'all got her with a
In the
Southland
book,
Tech
them
shirt?
two don't get along
They're
there.
supposed to be
Yeah.
cheerleaders or something? Little Miss Goody Twos? Is that what y'all think them guys want? Maybe they do. But Gloria wants them in. Did I say that? Well, I've been brought to life in Freshmen, and I plan to make the most of it. Read Freshman, but my story
10
is
years
the
in the making.
mm.
Coach Gennie.
How you doing, Coach?
Oh, man, nice and clear sound and everything. I probably need a wider screen for all that hair back there. I appreciate y'all being patient.
No problem.
I say, leave it to Coach Gennie to be the one that's early.
Always on time, man. Gotta value time.
Always on time, Coach. I like that.
You say that, Coach, but we just had this conversation in the locker room about, representing Godby. Everywhere they go, I tell them, you're a part of this organization, you're a part of Godby, and people, you got that target on your back everywhere you go. So you just gotta represent it well. No matter where you go, you gotta do right. Do the right thing.
Coach, you telling them, right? What high school you went to?
Godby.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Georgia Southern University.
And where'd you go when your career was over?
Played professionally in Europe for about 7 years.
You don't think he saw the same craziness that y'all see? But you have to kind of walk away from it. Because it's real easy to get caught up with it. Mr. Davis, I know you've been hearing it all your life. Am I right?
Yeah.
You see the story we did on your family, the first family of Quincy?
I don't think so.
First basketball family of Quincy. It's up there on INSiiGHTS site. That was your granddad. They call Monk, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot the lights out, Coach.
Heard about more Monk, boy.
Coach, shoot the lights out here. He crossed half court and turned it loose. He could shoot it. Oh my God. No. So you kind of have, you got a family name behind people identify you. You don't know. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's good.
Davis.
Yeah. Xavier, are we boring you?
Nah.
Mm-hmm. Do I know you? Can you hear?
When I told him who was interviewing me, that's what he said. Oh, Coach Clay.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Do I know you? He trying to put his head all down?
Yes, sir.
It took you that long to say yes, sir? You played for the right Clayton here. You played for the right one, because I've been came and got y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna start this, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you know my history with basketball, and I'm really excited to be with Godby and Coach Gennie, giving you a preview on the upcoming basketball season. These teams are working, they're getting ready to play, they're trying to get better. And with me today, I'm in the office of Coach Donte Gennie, second year at Godby in the Cougars Den. Good afternoon, all. Coach, this is your second season at Godby. 13-7 last year in a COVID-filled season. How much better or more difficult is it for you this year being able to get everybody together?
I mean, it's a lot better because, as you know, I got here in November of last year, right before the tryout. So it was kind of tough to come in and get a team together and prepare for the season. But somehow we kind of bought in as a group and had a pretty much successful season throughout the year. But it was kind of tough trying to keep everyone healthy throughout the year. And then we was one of those teams that was pretty blessed to go through the whole season without having to quarantine. So that was a big plus for us to keep our momentum going throughout the year. My expectation for this group is to make sure everyone does what they're supposed to do in the classroom. That's what I want to start off with. Just doing right off the court. And then as we lead on to the court, my major goal is to get to Lakeland. The first step is that win that district tournament, but our ultimate goal is to get to Lakeland. That's why we've been working hard since day one through conditioning and workouts, and the guys, they seem focused and ready to go.
What made you decide to come back to the area, coach the boys team?
Nothing like coming back home, and especially when the name Godby, it rung a bell for me. It was like a dream come true to be able to go back and coach at your former high school. So, and also I have 2 daughters here, my girls here, so it was an easy decision to make coming back home, being with my family, and then being a part of the Godby family again. For this team to be good, I think we have to grow as a unit because we have few transfers in, so we all have to get to know each other. And I just think our team chemistry is going to be a big part this year. Us just buying in, playing together, being one, and just growing as a unit throughout the year.
Tell us about the transfers that you have to join the nucleus that you already have.
We have a transfer. Taj Davis here with me. He transferred from Childs. Pretty good guard. Can handle it, pass it, shoot it. He's gonna be a great piece for it. He brings some leadership to this team. He's a senior. He's been through the war, so we hoping Taj can come in and show his talents on the court and also be a leader. We also have Rico Thompson. He's a transfer from Lincoln, forward. Pretty good upsize, plays inside and out. He would be a good addition to our inside play. And also Kadarius Brownlee, guard from Gaston County. How he can transfer back to Godby. He's also here a couple years ago, coming back home. So we're excited about these guys, hoping they can mash in with the new guys and we put this thing together and make some noise.
Okay, well, Coach, do me a favor and introduce each one of the gentlemen on your right and left and tell the audience why you selected them to come and represent Godby.
To my left here, you have Xavier Singleton. He's a guy I met last year. We bumped heads a couple of times, and one thing about him, I love his passion for the game. He brings some leadership skills. He plays hard every possession. We never have to worry about his effort. So I thought he would be a great leader for us this year. The way he just, plays so hard on the court. Most of the time you have vocal leaders, then you have that leader that shows with action. So I think Chris is that leader that can help us out. So we have Chris Singleton here. And to my right, we have Taj Davis. I also picked Taj because he's one of those players. He's the first in the gym. He's a gym rat. And like I said earlier, he brings that leadership here to the team also.
Okay. Well, Chris, tell me what you've learned under Coach Gennie in the year now that you've been under.
I learned a lot of life, like a lot of stuff about life, more than basketball. Like life's bigger than basketball. He taught me a lot of life lessons. He got me better, like level-headed, because I was hot-headed. He kept with me. Instead of just letting me leave, kicking me off the team, he just talked to me and told me to calm down and never give up, no matter what's going on. Just keep playing.
Coach, what did you say to him to help keep him level-headed?
Basically, I just give him, life story that I've been through. I just want them to understand that you can make it out, and it takes a certain way. And that, going back to what I said earlier, doing the right thing, and that's working on and off the court, having positive attitudes no matter what. We know Chris is a kid that has that passion and want to win. So like he said, I've just been working with him about, taking in those losses. When we do lose, how to accept that loss, because he's not a person that take losses well, which is nobody is. But it's a way to act. It's a certain way to act.
I want to show people that I can be a leader. I want to show people that I can, instead of me just like people just thinking I'm just good at basketball, I'm not really a good leader. I feel like I can show people that I'm a leader and I can lead a team to Lakeland, and I have big goals, go 31-0 this year.
I like that. I like that. I want you to introduce your new teammate and tell us about how you see him.
Taj Davis. I see Taj as a good player. He more quiet. Like at first, when I first met him, I didn't think he could talk. Like I didn't know he could talk. So he like every time we played, like when I played him last year, he didn't say nothing to me. Like I was talking trash to him. Like he just kept playing. Like, and I was like, I find that kind of good that he could just let somebody talk in his ear and still be able to play. Because I was saying some rude stuff to him. So I kind of respect him for that.
You were saying some what stuff to it?
Some rude stuff.
Coach, at least he's honest, huh?
Yes, he's honest. That's one thing about it. He's going to keep it 100 with you.
What does Taj do well that you think will help the team?
I feel like he's a guard, but his post game is like real good. Like he can get down in the post because he's a lot bigger than a lot of guards in Tallahassee. And for his size, I feel like his post game will help us. Cause
does he talk to you now, Chris?
Nah, he still don't talk to me.
So that's one thing we're working on, trying to get Taj to talk more, but it's coming. He's speaking a little more in practice, being a little more vocal. I mean, it's something he has to do with, Chris being at football right now. So he's taking on that talking role a little more.
Well, Taj, what do you have to say about what Chris said about you?
I'm not as talkative as Chris, but like, I'm learning to be.
And what was your thought of him when you came on the team?
I like his energy. Like he get in people's head, but he couldn't do it to me though.
How you get in their head, Chris? Taj.
Yeah, as soon as he start talking to him, they start talking bad, so you know he got him.
Yeah.
Then he start going to work on him. You know he got him. Yeah. Then he start going to work on him.
What do you enjoy about being a part of the Godby program?
I like the hard work, the effort, dedication. I just like it a lot.
I know your dad, I think he's one of the assistant coaches now, but how does it feel not to be playing for him or for your aunt? Because I understand you played for her in AAU sometimes.
It's nothing different. I'm still gonna work.
I see what you mean. He give you short answers and cut it off.
Right.
Coach, do you see him talking to the girls?
Coach, to be honest with you, I haven't seen Taj talk a lot since he's been here. So sometimes I just go up to him when I see him and try to get some words out of him. But he need to come out of that shell. He got to come out of that shell. He's getting there, but it's something he has to do better.
Chris, why did you start laughing when I asked Coach that?
Because like it's just funny. You ask him, do he talk to girl? Because I didn't even know he could talk at all. So when I found out he could talk, it was just like, and then you ask him, do he talk to girls?
Literally.
Like, but I seen him talking to a girl before. Like, I seen him talking. That's when I knew he could really talk for real. Though. He was talking to a female. I knew he really.
Coach, I'm gonna ask you. There's two teams in the city. Who are you?
Best two teams in the city. Gotta go with Godby and Rick. Gotta stick with the teams that the biggest rivalry in Florida, I think. So I would definitely say Godby and Rick until things are proven differently.
Know your limits.
Okay. Coach, I'm gonna ask. In closing, I'm gonna ask one question, and I know you don't back away from a question. Who the top 2 teams in the city this year? Who they gonna be?
Ricketts and Godby.
I've hesitated.
Always. And we're probably gonna play 3 times at a minimum. We're in the same district, same class.
One thing I do know, when Ricketts and Godby play, you got to get in there early to get a seat.
Yeah, and Donte does a hell of a job over there.
Mm-hmm. He does a good job.
Last year, really. When I was finna play Rick, I didn't think too much of him. I was like, I'm just finna go out here, get him 30, and then go home. Like I was never really stunting him. Like I never really was stunting them boys playing them like at all. And I was just like, why are these people here to see us smash Rick? Like that's what I was thinking.
Was it like that when you played too, Coach?
Oh yes, I'm talking about standing room only. You had to be there. You had to be there by halftime of that JV game, or you're not getting in. I would like to say I appreciate all their support throughout the years for just the Godby program, and like these guys say, we're looking to do something big this year, and we would love to get all the Godby fans in the gym to pack this thing out each and every game, not just the Ricketts game. We want to see y'all out for what you're doing for the area, not just for, doing the preview, but we want that. I think that's an awesome thing you're doing, man. Putting Tallahassee on the map, getting these kids exposure, that's kind of big, and I really enjoy it. That's why I say you always have a home here at Godby. Anything you need, just let me know.
Now you see why I got to do basketball. That Chris is something. He need his own show.
Oh my goodness! I mean, and the parallel. I mean, one, you just wind him up and let him go, and the other one, come on, let's go. You got it. But the dynamic, you could tell though that they accept each other, and that they're going to make a good dynamic duo. It seems like they feed off of each other as well. I like that.
And you have to watch. And I this interview was probably another 20 minutes. It took like 4 hours to cut it down. And I'm just gonna put the whole unedited version up on iHeartRadio. You'll be able to see it all up there. But if you watch it, Chris would say something. Oh, I don't know what all the hype was about, because I was just gonna give him 30 and go home. And did you see his coach look at him like, what in the world? You can't say?
But all right, as a coach, would you rather have a guy who's just confident like that? I mean, or
well, I got a grandson like that. They like my daughter said, Daddy, what we gonna see? You gonna let him stay just like that? We'll try to tone him down, but that's better than trying to have him not concerned and make him aggressive. And
because
even
that's what
when we had Taj answer the question with about 5 words, and then there was a big pause, and when you looked at Chris said,
"Oh, those kids are funny," but I love it.
This is why I'm gonna do this is why I got to do basketball. I mean, I've interviewed Florida High. I mean, and Ricketts, the little sophomore girl who spoke so well. Yeah. I mean, this show is about them. Yes. And teaching them how to be able to do interviews. And I know Coach Gennie, he talking to Chris about toning him down a little bit. But this is what we do in the show. And you want to go see them, and you want them to do well. And we're trying to give the audience an opportunity to see these kids in more than 5-second blurts. And I have to say, girls basketball coach Chelsea Johnson just had a little girl. We were working, trying to get them in. She and her husband just had a little girl, and congratulations to them. She does a good job with the young ladies over there. And before we go, one of the things I have to say, I'm a movie guy, and I like going in the middle of the week because ain't nobody in there but me. And Sang Cha, Legend of 10 Rings.
Mute yourself. I don't want to hear it.
You mute yourself. There's a part in there where the Chinese guy says, aim at nothing, you hit nothing. And I was like, wow. Wow. I said, that's pretty deep. Aim at nothing, you hit nothing. And I was like, that doesn't apply to so many different facets of your life.
Of life.
Well, we're going to wrap it up. Just for your own information, I got my booster shot today. Got my second shingle shot. Be like my wife sometimes. She said after she had her, she said, when I lift my arm up like this, it hurt. I said, well, Punky, don't lift your arm up. It won't hurt. Don't lift it up. It won't hurt. But we got Florida High basketball. Leave her. Got Florida High basketball coming up next week. Boys and girls. Coach Marshall, Coach Ward, we've already interviewed them, and they're interesting as well. Then we got Kezia, who played at Ricketts, went on to be an assistant basketball coach, wrote a book. She's a young lady that we're trying to keep you apprised of these student athletes and what they're doing now. Thanks, Rufus Conyers, her dad. He worried me to death about following up with her. And I had to listen because Rufus was my point guard, so I had to listen.
And finally, you listen to a point guard. Finally.
I think we've had a full show.
We have. Hey, quick, just wanted to give shout outs. Thank you for everyone who joined us. Hey, Chiquita, Judge Miller, Sports Diva, as always. Nice seeing y'all. Thank you for joining us. And the rest who are just in the background, join the chat.
And I just got a note that said your show going long, but you forgot about Pick'em. And Rick, I think you 1 point ahead of Sports Diva. But you stay, if 1 point ahead beats being 1 point behind. So all those who on the Pick'em show, Pick'em, we didn't get time to cover that today because the show went long, but I think that people who listen got some knowledge.
Indeed. Thanks.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 I's in the middle. INSiiGHTS.com.
INSiiGHTS is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises.
Hey, y'all, what's up? Y'all get ready to leave. I need you to go on down there and hit the subscribe and the like button. Yeah. We appreciate that. Hit. No, don't get no attitude. Just do that and hit the subscribe, hit the like, write a comment. Tell us something about the show. Tell us something about what we said. Now, hold up. I might not like what you say, but I'm for sure gonna read it and comment. And some of it we even use in the next shows. There you go down there, hit that button. That's right, there you go. We appreciate that. Appreciate it. That's how INSiiGHTS grows. We all support each other. Don't do that. Don't get pissed off. Go on and take one more sip of that beer. Yeah, sports fans, that's what we do. We appreciate you. That's it. We appreciate you a lot. INSiiGHTS appreciate you. Both me and Rick from MicknRick, INSiiGHTS Sports TV. We appreciate you.
Until next week, on the yo.
You better tell them. Hey, we'll have another Power Pack show. I don't know if we can get somebody like Dr. Gainous, but he was special. Go back and see it again. Hey, we appreciate y'all. Rick, stay safe.